Hello, everyone. I'm Mitchables, and welcome to my 4 Reasons review, where we give you 4 reasons to buy and 4 reasons to skip a game. This is all based on about 10 hours of real hands on gameplay. I'm not using trailers or notes or anything like that. This is just pure gameplay, about 10 hours in, and today we're going to be discussing Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So, a quick little preview of the game. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is about a female pirate named Bei Wuchang. She wakes up in a cave with some amnesia and does not remember who she is or what's happening. She's suffering from a disease called the feathering. This disease has ravaged the land, and Bei Wuchang is on a quest to find the cure. The only issue is people see that she has the feathering, the disease, and they attack her on sight. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is developed by a Chinese game studio called Linzi and is published by 505 Games. The setting and the art style is inspired by the Ming Dynasty, who once ruled Japan. But let's get right into it. 4 reasons to buy, 4 reasons to skip, and here's reason number 1 to buy Wuchang Fallen Feathers, and that's going to be that the combat feels amazing. You guys, the combat in this game is what truly separates this game from other Souls-like. It's fast, fluid, and it's a breath of fresh air in the Souls-like genre. Wuchang allows you to play how you want and not rabbit hole into one play style. So do you want a perfect parry and punish your enemies with some counters? Do you want to dodge and strike at the right time? Do you want to deflect incoming damage while swinging a heavy axe around your head? All these options are available to you from the very beginning of the game. And also a spear, a dual wield swords, and you can have 2 equipped at one time. It really allows you to play however you would like. This game's combat is truly unique and has so much depth that makes every encounter fun. Every swing, every hit that lands feels so satisfying, and it makes you want to explore so you can keep fighting that next enemy. Now, reason number 2 to play Wuchang is that this game has one of the best skill trees I have ever seen. It kind of reminds me of like a cyberpunk skill tree where you can really focus in on being really good at 1 or 2 things, or if you want to spread it around and be just okay at a lot of different things, you have a ton of options here. So Wuchang's skill tree, it works with the combat options that this game provides. It has a branch for every single weapon type in the game, and you upgrade the skill tree based on how you want to play. So if you want to be a dual-wield sword specialist, you're going to upgrade that skill tree a lot. If you want to be a heavy axe, you're going to do that skill tree. If you want to be really good at 2 of them, you're going to focus on those 2. You also use the skill tree to increase how many vases you have, like healing vases, and other aspects, like that, like healing and consumable items. That's going to be in the skill tree as well. There are different weapon skills you unlock in the skill tree. These are called disciplines that can be learned and applied to your weapon. So just different abilities you can give your weapon. And what's also nice is that when you upgrade a weapon, so let's say you upgrade the great axe to +2, that applies to every great axe you find. It doesn't matter what level you find the great axe at. So a beginning of the game great axe, if you want to use that the entire way, it's gonna scale and level with your skill tree. There are so many different ways that you can upgrade it and have a unique play style where everybody is going to be different. I would recommend putting a majority of the points into one weapon and then the rest into kind of a secondary weapon. And the best part, though, is that you can respec all your points at any time, and you can do it individually. So you don't have to clear the whole tree. You can just clear one section. You can clear one specific skill and get one skill back. It lets you respec very easily. So if you decide that you want the spear to be your secondary weapon instead of a single-hand sword, you can remove all the points from the sword and redistribute them to the spear skill tree. Now, reason number 3 to play Wuchang is that the bosses in this game are so unique and every one of them provides a different challenge. Don't you hate when video games reskin boss fights over and over again? That is not the case so far here in Wuchang. Every boss fight so far has been different than the last. The first boss in this game is a pretty typical Souls-like boss. It has delayed strikes, different combos, and a second phase. But a boss only a couple minutes later is completely still, and it requires the player to use only spells and magic and long-distance attacks to defeat them. And you're being attacked by the environment, so different thorns and different skeletons are coming out of the ground to try and defeat you, where that first boss I referenced, it's just mono-e-mono. The music art style, cutscenes, environments, and the fights themselves are all unique and fun in their own way. I have not had this much fun with boss fights in a long time, and I look forward to playing against every single one of them. They are fun, they're super challenging. It's some of the best boss fights in gaming, I think. Now, the last reason number 4 to play Wuchang, is that the inventory and the gear weapon system allows players to be creative and not have to worry about the same small details. So I think an under the radar positive of this game is the inventory management system. In a lot of Souls likes, or just a lot of other games in general, there's some sort of inventory management or like a gear management mechanic, and this usually includes, armor weight or pouch weights where you can only carry so much stuff. And if you wear too much armor, you're slow, and it really limits the creativity of mixing and matching different, like headbands or hats or other armor sets. It really limits that creativity, but that is not the case here in Wuchang. There is no weight limit. There's no really real inventory management. If you do have too much inventory, it's just going to automatically go into what they call the warehouse. And the warehouse, you can go to at any shrine and pull items from there as well. So that makes it really nice where you can continue to loot even if your storage is full on you. If your storage is full, it doesn't affect your speed or anything. You just have to go to the warehouse to get some more, which is really nice. Now, 4 reasons to skip Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So reason number 1 is going to be that the story does not pull you in like other titles. This is not very strong in terms of the story. So Souls-like games have never been about straightforward stories that hold your hand, throughout the story and have a clear, setting and plot of what's happening. Players are supposed to explore and learn about the story by finding items and NPCs, and interacting with the environment. This creates a sense of immersion in the world. However, there's very little of that so far here in Wuchang. There's really only one NPC that feels like they hold any real value to the story and progress the story. All other NPCs are either merchants or characters that are actively dying from the feathering and complain to you about it. They kind of just like shriek and cry that they're in pain, and that's about it. Some of the dialogue feels sluggish, and conversations can drag on for way too long. So if you're someone who loves this story-rich game, this may not be for you. Now, reason number 2 to skip Wuchang Fallen Feathers is that if you're new to Souls-likes, this is not the game to start with. So this gripe about the game is going to be very specific to a very specific audience. So if you do not have any or you have very little experience with Souls-likes, this game is going to be challenging and frustrating. The bosses are extremely difficult, which will make the beginning of the game go by very slowly as you learn how to play. There's no map with the game. Now, it's not a true open world like Elden Ring. It's more of like a God of War where you have certain sections and it does branch out, but it is pretty linear. But it's just going to be hard with no map because all of the areas connect together to really one massive map. You have to solely rely on world clues and shrines to figure out what is next. And this is really good for experienced players who love this challenging Souls-like, but it's unforgiving to new players. So if you're looking to get into the Souls-like genre, this is not the game to start with. Now, reason number 3 to skip Wuchang Fallen Feathers. The runbacks are way too long and make the game feel tedious at times. Now, while the occasional long runback can be fun and rewarding, it can also be way overdone. Unfortunately, it's way overdone in Wuchang. Some of the shrine locations just feel random, and they don't connect to the world in a good way. It seems the developers made these runbacks long just to simply make the game harder. This could be a personal knock on the game, but I want to feel rewarded for conquering a dungeon and not having to go through it over and over and over again just because I'm fighting these really hard bosses like I mentioned. So this might be, just a personal preference, but I don't like all the runbacks being so long. Now, reason number 4 to skip Wuchang is that the in-between or the common enemies I think are way too easy. I know that kind of contradicts what I just said about the runbacks being long and tedious and pretty hard, but this to me is a bigger issue. I rarely even get hit while I'm exploring from boss to boss, and the common enemies don't pack enough of a punch. When I upgrade a weapon, I want to be able to test the new moves and abilities on these common enemies, but they usually die within a hit or two when I'm trying to build up a charge or ability points, which they call Skyborn Might in this game. And I'm not able to really test these new abilities on these common enemies because they die so easily. And they also go to the ground super easily, which allows you to just basically charge up an attack and kill them every single time. So I believe if they had better shrine placement and harder common enemies, this game would almost be flawless because the positives are that great. Now, my final verdict on this game, 10 hours in, is that if you love a challenging Souls-like game with best-in-class combat, you're probably going to love this game. But if you're looking for a starting point into the Souls-like genre, you might want to wait or skip out on this one. Now, let me know if you've played it. What do you think? Is it worth it or not so far? Was I too harsh on it? Did I maybe give it too much praise in the positive section? Feel free to let me know. But thank you guys for watching. This is the start of my 4 reasons review title that I'm going to be doing for almost every new game. I'm going to focus on action games, story games, RPGs, new big AAA releases, and also some popular indie games as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around. This is Mitchables, and have a great day.